welcome back. In the last session, I explained the poem The Patriot, and in that poem, Robert Browning, through a patriot, he reminded us how short is public memory and adultation is, and how fickle praise and glory is. He also reminded us how uncertain human life is, but it had a like note of hope at the end, or it closed uh, at an optimistic note. Okay, that is Browning's own philosophy. God's in his heaven and all's right with the world. So I hope it was all clear to you, the poem. And today now we'll discuss a few figures of speech, like one or two. There are many actually, but from your examination point of view, all those are not needed. So I'll explain two figures of speech, and then we'll discuss a set of previous year questions. So for this year's board exam, no questions were asked from this particular poem, but last year it was there. A set was there. So we will discuss that, and yeah, okay. So we'll start. In this poem, you have alliteration used. Okay. So do you know what alliteration is? It is a repetition of consonant sounds. Okay, repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of adjacent or very closely connected words. So you have many alliterations used in this poem. For example, listen to the line, with myrtle mixed in my path like mad. So myrtle mixed my mad. So that sound, it was repeated. So that is an example for alliteration. Then the church spires flamed, such flags they had. So flags and flamed. So that f sound, it is repeated. And then for another example, okay, in triumphs people have dropped down dead. So d sound, that consonant sound was repeated. So you have the use of alliteration in this poem. So alliteration means what? Repetition of consonant sounds in the adjacent or in the beginning of the adjacent or closely related words. And similarly, you also have assonance, which stands for the repetition of vowel sounds in the beginning of closely connected words. So you don't have assonance in this, but you have alliteration. So keep that in your mind. And the next one is personification. So personification, okay, I'll read a line. So try to guess what personification is, or just to try to recollect. You might have studied it in the other classes. Okay, so the house roofs seem to heave and sway. So in this line, that words heave and sway, you know that the roofs are they are not living things, right? But heave and sway, so that is something showing the motion. So those are related, or those are considered as the characteristics of living things or human beings. Okay, so this human characteristics of heaving and swaying was given to the house roofs. Okay, so we can say that that is personification. Okay, and why it has been done? This has been done to refer to the crowd on the roofs. Okay, like to refer to the crowd and to make us or tell us how what a frenzy they created. Okay, so this is personification. So these are only the two figures of speech I am explaining, and now let us move on to the questions, the 5 questions. That set of question, it was like to be answered according to the extract or the given extract. So here I'll read that extract. Just listen. It is a fourth stanza in that poem. That is, there is nobody on the housetops now, just a palsied few at the window set. For the best of the sighters all allow, at the shambles gate, or better yet, by the very scaffold's foot I trow. So I hope you are able to recollect the meaning or recollect that particular situation. And now I'll read the questions and we will discuss the answer. The first question is, who is the speaker? Where is he being taken and why? Answer is very simple. The speaker is a patriot. Now the second part, where is he being taken? So it is, he is being taken to the scaffold, and other question is why. So he is being taken to the scaffold to be publicly executed for his misdeeds. So this is the answer. So don't write too much, it is just a 3 marks question. So write according to the question. Okay. So with this answer you will get 3 marks. And now let us see the next question. That is again a 3 marks question, and the question is, describe the scene when he had walked down the same street a year ago. So now please try to recollect that scene. It will be easy for you if you have listened to the last video, or else not. Are you able to recollect? Okay, so the answer is, a year ago, like the Patriot, he was worshipped like a hero. Okay, and he was accorded a warm welcome, and on his return after a great victory or a very glorious victory, his path was filled with roses and myrtle, and then the church towers were decorated with flags. So many people were there, like the crowds were there to welcome him. So this was the what was the question? Yeah, so this was that scene, okay, when he had walked down the same street a year ago. Okay, now everything has changed. So this will do, this answer will do. And now the next question, where does the speaker think all the people had gathered that day? Why does he think so? So that day means what? At his that present scene. So in the poem we had first 3 stanzas explaining his past, and the next 3, that past in the sense recollecting that memory when he was considered as a hero, and the next 3 stanzas or the other 3 stanzas were about his present. That is like what is his condition at present, or what are his feelings, where what is going to be his end. So these things were explained in that last 3 stanzas. So since this is the 4th stanza, it will be easy for you to answer. So let us read the question again. Where does the speaker think all the people had gathered that day? Answer is, yeah, the speaker thinks that all the people have left the town and gone to the shambles gate, or quite near the scaffold's foot, in order to have a better view of that scene or better view of Patriot's execution. So this is that answer. And why does he think so? Because he thinks so because there were only a few like the Patriot was able to see only a few at the windows, and that too palsied people or diseased people. Sorry, it's not diseased, palsied people, and there were no one on the house roofs. They were not seen anywhere. Only few palsied people were sitting at the window. So this made the Patriot to think that they might, all the others would have gathered at the Shambles gate or at the scaffold's foot. Okay, and now let us see the next question. Describe the speaker's physical condition. So that comes towards the end. So don't expect that everything will be asked exactly from the given stanza. So they can ask you anything that comes before or after the given stanza or paragraph. So you should know the entire thing. So this is from the next stanza, the answer. So his physical condition, it was, yeah, as we saw, it was very pathetic. And that man, yeah, he is being led to the scaffold or the gallows, and his hands were tied to the back with a rope, and that rope was so tight that it actually went into his flesh, right? It was so tight, it cuts both his hands, and yeah, then also his forehead was bleeding. Why? because the people, they threw stones at her for his what, as they have misunderstood that he has done something wrong, or they misunderstood some of his actions. So they threw stones at him, so his head was bleeding. So this was the physical condition of the what, our patriots. He was really hurt. Okay. Now the last question. The questions that we discussed so far were of 3 marks each, and now the last question, it carries 4 marks. Okay, so let us see the last question. What is the central message of the poem? Does the poem end on a note of despair or hope? Give one reason for your answer. So all these things, the answer for this this was also explained in our session. And okay, we'll check the answer. What is the central message of the poem? So as I said in the introduction of this session, the poem, it talks about the fickle mindedness of the public, or it reminds us, or it tells us our life is very uncertain, or that praise and glory showered by the public is very short. Okay, anything can happen at any time, everything will change, nothing is constant. Okay, so this can be considered, that fickle mindedness of the ordinary people can be considered as a theme of this, or central message of this poem. As in this poem itself we saw, right, how the people treated him in the beginning. They welcomed him with a, like, in a very glorious way. They praised him, but soon they got disappointed with him, and they started showering abuses and stones on that patriot. Okay, yeah. And now the next part. Does the poem end on a note of despair or hope? So this also I explained several times. So it ends on a note of hope, right? So we are seeing we saw a very optimistic patriot towards the end of the poem. So we saw, like, he was saying, or he believed that whatever he received, or whatever he was rewarded with on the earth, was not his real rewards, or that was not what he was deserving. Okay, and in the last line, that is, this God shall repay, I am safer so. So he believes that the God will repay him for his actions. So he did the things only which he believed were right. So he believes that his God, or the God, will repay him for whatever he did, and that would be the real, or that will be the real reward, according to the patriot. So the poem ends on a very optimistic note, and this can be written as the reason for our answer. You can quote that line if you want, that is, this God shall repay, I am safer so, or you can just explain the meaning of that line for the answer. Okay, and yeah, so this is it, and we'll wind up today. So listen to the video and write the answers, write both the questions and answers. It will make you more confident, and you can analyze yourself, like what you know and what you don't know. Okay, so write down the answers. That is the best thing you can do. And okay, we'll meet again with another chapter. Until then, bye.